Hey, welcome to Brighter Rays this week. Our lesson for this week is called Two Nations, and we're looking at Genesis 25, 12 through 34. So let's start with the introduction to our study. And let's go back 3 weeks ago, actually. We started to look at the story of Isaac, with the servant searching for Isaac's wife. Now, the servant found success through the Lord's leading, and Isaac and Rebekah were married. Then came the passing of Abraham, and he's the hero of our faith, right? So Abraham passes on, and the two brothers, Isaac and Ishmael, they were brought together again by the death of their father, and, could probably have been the last time that they would ever see each other again. Now, Isaac, the chosen son, the one that had received the promises of God, and Ishmael, the wild donkey of a man, get together. The two nations separated by the actions of God, right? God chose Isaac, not Ishmael. Isaac was the chosen one. Ishmael, when he mocked Isaac, God said, you gotta do what Sarah says and get rid of Ishmael. So God's choices, God's decisions brought those two people, those two men, apart and really created two different nations there. So that leads us to the text today, where we're going to see again two nations. Now this passage falls easily into three different parts. In the first, we're going to find the generations of Ishmael. That's verses 12 through 18. This is really the account of the family of Ishmael. Moses writes this here as he has just mentioned Ishmael being present at Abraham's burial, and so it makes sense for him to kind of throw that in there. It closes the book of Ishmael and then opens really the book of Isaac in verse 19. The book of Isaac opens with Isaac and Rebekah having the same struggles with infertility that Abraham and Sarah had. Again, we find the intervention of God, and then the birth of twins, which will become two peoples divided. Finally, in verses 27 through 34, we get a little sneak peek at what is coming up in the future stories with Jacob and Esau. We get a short story here of Jacob and Esau before the story then returns back to Isaac. And in this story, we find a description of Jacob and Esau, and it's not a pretty picture of either of these men. It's not, for a description of like the heroes of the faith, you would think it'd be like these glowing descriptions of these men, but you don't find that here. Jacob and Esau, Jacob is really no better than Esau. They're both equally shown in the same light, that they're both sinners. So we find the twins, though they're very different, are very similar in that way. They're sinners. So come back the rest of this week, and we'll take a look at these really couple stories here in the book of Genesis.